Hi, this is Troy Wolverton with another video edition of Tech Files. This week I'm taking a look at Spotify, a digital music service that was just opened to American customers. Spotify was much ballyhooed in Europe, and it works much like many other digital music services in the past. For a monthly fee, users can get access to any of the 15 million tracks that Spotify has in its vaults. They can listen to the tracks that are streamed to them over the internet, and in some cases they can actually download them to their devices. But Spotify purports to be a new way to listen to music. Customers actually can listen to music on Spotify for free, to a limited extent. They can listen to a certain number of songs over a certain number of hours without having to pay Spotify a dime. So users can actually share a link to their songs over Facebook or Twitter or other social networks. Additionally, if you sign into Spotify using Facebook, you can view the playlists that have been put together by your friends on Facebook and share your playlists with those friends as well. Spotify has one other really cool thing, and that's something called Artist Radio. If you click on one of the artists that's listed on Spotify, there's a tab that says Artist Radio, and what it does is it basically creates something like a Pandora radio station based on that particular artist. The basic appeal of services such as Spotify is obvious. You get access to millions of tracks, a far greater library of songs than you could ever hope to collect, and you can listen to them instantly. But the drawbacks of the service are equally apparent. And that is that you end up spending a recurring monthly fee that could end up being far greater amount than you would ever spend individually for music if you had a choice. Oh, and by the way, none of that music do you get to keep if you stop paying for the service. Spotify does offer both a free and a low-cost $5 service, but neither of them are particularly attractive. The big problem with both of them is that you cannot listen to the music from Spotify on a mobile device or in your car. I had other problems with Spotify as well. Spotify purports to have all these millions of tracks that you're able to listen to, but it doesn't have many of the things that I wanted to listen to. For example, I did a search for the Beatles. Well, you can't find the Beatles on Spotify. Now, you could chalk that up to the fact that the Beatles signed some special deal with Apple so that their music only appears on Apple's iTunes. But it wasn't just the Beatles. By a hunch, I was happening to want to listen to All Along the Watchtower the other day. So I did a search for All Along the Watchtower, and you can find a version of it by Jimi Hendrix. However, I wanted to listen to the one that actually played during an episode of Battlestar Galactica. It's a song you can actually find on iTunes. You couldn't find it on Spotify. What's worse, and that's a fairly obscure track, so maybe it's understandable that Spotify didn't have it. But what's worse is that the original version of All Along the Watchtower by Bob Dylan wasn't on there either. All that said, if you're interested in checking out a digital music service, you ought to take a look at Spotify. It's got a lot of neat features, it does have a free option, and it has some cool mobile apps. For my part, though, I'm going to stick to buying music. Renting is just not for me. I'm Troy Wolverton with another edition of Tech Files.